Have you ever had an out of body experience or a near death experience? Because once you do, things are never really the same again. You realize how much more you are than your physical body. Now, today's guest is Susan Walter. Susan has had several near death experiences as a child, and that has given her the ability to see into the angelic realms. It allows her to see angels in their pure light form. And she actually uses this ability to draw angel portraits for people that ask her to. And she's got a wonderful website, susanwalterart.com. She is also the artist and the author of the Solfeggio mandala activation guides and meditation decks. Did I say that right? Let's see.
Solfeggio.
Oh, I'm sorry. Solfeggio. Now, with that being said, we're going to ask her about her near death experiences, what it's like on the other side, what these angels of pure light represent in her mind. And check her out, SusanWalterArt.com. I'd also like to thank my friends over at TradeLikeAGenius.com. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Have you checked out these trading alerts yet? They are so cool because every day you wake up, you open up your emails, or you look into your phone, you will get these email alerts, whether to buy or to sell based upon these algorithms. Take out the guessing, become a genius. TradeLikeAGenius.com. They're offering specials until the end of the week. If you take advantage of these opportunities, I think if you go to the website, let me show you the website real quick. This is pretty cool. So Bob is a personal friend of mine. He is a Marine. He's a family man. He's a good Christian man. And he's very knowledgeable about the markets. I mean, he literally eats, drinks, sleeps, works out, trading cryptos. And let me show you right now what a trade alert is actually like. This is the website. Call 1-800-949-1408 or send them an email, support@tradegenius.co. Now, you got 5 days left and 12 hours to take advantage of these amazing opportunities. And I want to show you what these trade alerts look like. So you can see right here, Trading View Trade Alert. You have a daily alt buy alert, or you have a CCJ silver miner sell alert. That's been a very popular miner that people trade a lot. And give you an example, this one right here was from 2 days ago. You open up your chart, and you can even get additional icons on the charts to make it easier for you. But when you look at this, you don't even really have to look into it deeply because the majority of the work's been done for you. You just decide whether you want to buy or sell based upon these algorithms. But you can open up the charts and you can get very deep into this, or you can just be right on the surface and just take advantage of the trade calls. It's totally up to you. TradeLikeAGenius.com. Let them know Leak Project sent you. You'll be glad you did. Now, one of the neat things about these huge swings in the market is if you trade and if you know how to trade, you can be extremely successful during turmoil. Actually, far more successful than when it's really steady and flat, but you can also lose your shorts. So that's why TradeLikeAGenius.com is right for you. And it's definitely right for me. So let's go ahead and bring in Susan right now. I'm excited. So, Susan, it's great to see you. I appreciate your time and the opportunity. And I noticed on your website, you've got some beautiful pieces of what looks like angelic beings and different shapes and like, I guess you could call them sigils or sigils. But could we go back to like the first experience you had? You said you've had multiple death experiences.
Yeah, I had one at 4 and then another one at 6.
Wow,
So
that's
I was very young.
what happened.
Actually, what medically caused it was ruptured hernias. So I obviously had to have some, like, and it wasn't major surgery, but yet life-saving.
That's a young age to have something like that happen, isn't it?
And yeah, it is. And to be honest, my parents have never given me the full story about what actually happened.
Huh. Do you think it was like an accident?
Um, yeah, it wasn't the only hernia. I had other hernias removed before they ruptured. Yeah, it 3 and 5, 3, 5, and 7 as well. Those two were just not caught in time.
That sounds so painful.
It was definitely not comfortable.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, fortunately, yeah, um, as women, yeah, and now, now I've gone through childbirth as well. Um, we just have this way of kind of tuning that part out and just kind of forgetting about that piece of it. I don't know what it is about the, female chemistry that we're able to do that, but
Well,
you
I've heard that marathons and super athletes, women actually have the capability sometimes to go even a little bit further as far as extreme pain. And maybe it has
mhm.
something to do with the physiological makeup and the fact you have to, birth children. I mean, does
Yeah,
it looks painful?
something. Yeah, it's not comfortable. That's for sure.
So, but wow, I'm so glad you had a chance to get through that and actually ascend, but still be here in this physical realm. Tell us about it. What was the first experience like?
Yeah, I don't remember the first one quite as well. I remember a few details. The second one is more vivid, but started out pretty much the same way, where I went to the same garden type setting with these massive trees. But and being such a young age at the time, I had never seen anything like the redwood trees. I mean, I grew up on a farm in Iowa, so that but I would equate these trees to being similar to the redwoods. And the angels were, like 15, 18 feet tall, and even they could not reach the branches. And then there was just like wildflowers and seemed to be like little animals just kind of running all over the place. And I know as a kid on the farm, I was notorious for, there was a little nest of rabbits or snakes or mice or whatever. I found them. And I would just very gently play with them and then, and always put them back in their nest. And so, and I was kind of fascinated by, these nests of little animals. And, the angels, one of the things they asked me is I wanted to see the world through, the eyes of the animals. So I just kind of went then from animal to animal to, just seeing the world from their perspective. And then I ended up in what I believe to be I think it was a humpback whale, but I was swimming in a very, large body of water, and I remember hearing sounds very similar to what we would equate to, whale song. And then all of a sudden, I was still swimming, but I wasn't swimming in water anymore. It's like I was swimming in space. And then and it was back at the very moment when, I think of it as when the creator made that exhale and created all of these beautiful different, different souls. And it's like my intention was to go to the angelic realm. That's where I was headed. And as I me and two other souls were, I guess, recruited would be the best way to describe it, to be what the word that I remember them using was planet creators. And they showed us what it would be like if we did that. And then they showed us what would be like if we went to the angelic realm. The other two beings did continue to the angelic realm. I obviously did not.
So you came back. And do you remember what it was like when you came back?
The first thing I remember is seeing my grandmother, one of my grandmothers sitting beside me looking at a National Geographic, and it oddly enough had the Giza Plateau on it. And I'd never seen a picture of the Giza Plateau, and my grandmother didn't notice right away that I was awake yet. And and my first comment was, "Where's the rest of them?" And so then a couple years later, she started teaching me, some different things, and she let me borrow different books about different religions and different faiths, and and to be honest, to this day, I don't know if my parents know that Grandma did that, but I remember reading books about Buddhism and in Islam and Sufis and just all these different things. Now, how much of it I actually absorbed, I don't know. But because I was still pretty young. I was 8, 9 years old when she started loaning me her books.
Now, what did you talk to the angelic beings as well?
Yeah, I did. one thing in particular, particularly the second one, I remember asking them about stuff they were teaching me in Sunday school. Is I grew up Lutheran Missouri Synod, and was one of those families. You were very ill if you missed going to church on Sunday.
What did your family think about it? Did you tell them about what you saw?
I remember, trying to share the experience, from the perspective of a child, obviously, and before terms like, near-death experience even existed. Even if I would have heard them, even if they did, but trying to, share what I'd experienced, and after a while, I kind of got this attitude of quit telling those stories. So I just quit telling the stories. I didn't quit seeing or experiencing anything. I just quit telling the stories. Quit talking about it.
So you had more experiences after the NDE?
Well, I continued then to see my angels then all the time afterwards. It was kind of like, how you see that ray of sunshine coming down between the clouds? Yeah, it was kind of like that. And they're that transparent, that translucent. But it's like I just see them all the time now.
Like light beams?
Yeah.
Well, tell us about that. I want to hear more.
I'm as a kid growing up, I just saw them all the time, and I didn't, to be honest, didn't really realize and understand that not everybody saw that. I thought it was normal because I really didn't remember a time where I didn't. And then it was in January of '97, they started showing me not just my own, but everybody else's. So at that time I sat down in meditation, was asking, okay, why am I seeing this and what am I supposed to do with that? And I was told I was supposed to start drawing or painting them. And I argued for several months because I wasn't the least bit busy with 2 teenage boys and 2 toddlers. Yeah. And one other minor detail, I didn't know how to paint or draw. So I really kind of, at this point, people ask me if I went to college or if I'm self-taught. I really kind of consider myself to be angel taught.
Do you still see the angels like you used to?
Yes, they have never changed. The only detail that has changed is I do portraits now. I've started about almost 2 years ago now, start seeing like a light language down it's usually down the center of the body, starting at the throat. And I've been told that that's a message like from the angels to the higher self. And I haven't always seen that. Just other than that, over the years, it's just my skills have, because of continual practice, my skills have improved.
Well, when you said you saw the letters, were you seeing letters within the angels?
Yeah, it's like it's right on their body.
And did you ever find a translator?
Not yet.
I mean, I'm sure
If you find one, let me know.
Well, you've got to be the translator. I mean, they're showing you that for a reason. So subconsciously, you probably know.
Yeah, at some point, I imagine I will be able to read it, just not yet.
It's interesting because hieroglyphics and petroglyphs have significance because they're, like a multitude of significances. You read even certain scriptures and they have a multitude of significances. But where I'm going with this is I think the subconscious mind, it kind of taps into the subconscious mind with certain symbols that you maybe don't understand. And it probably has a specific resonance that it will equate to with your body and your soul. So
a specific frequency.
So do they talk to you or?
Some do, some they're like people. Some people are more talkative than others. Some would rather talk to the person directly. And so, they kind of want to leave me out of it. Others will do things like show me like snapshots, like photographs. for just a split second. So I have, a few seconds to like interpret that for the person. It's kind of, everyone's a little bit different.
So what are angels?
To me, they're interdimensional beings. They exist in a different frequency than we do. In what I think of more as a faster frequency. A lot of us refer to, higher, lower. I really think faster, slower is a more accurate term for that. And they just exist in a faster frequency than we do. And
Wow.
it is extremely rare that they ever take physical form.
But they can take physical form.
They can, but it's just very rare.
Why
Partly
would
because it takes a lot of energy for them to slow their frequency down.
there's a lot of different scriptures that have different definitions of angels. So I think that it's kind of one word that is used a lot in describing different entities and beings. Sometimes angels, in my opinion, refer to constellations. Sometimes they refer to planets. Sometimes they refer to light beings. And I wonder if there's a connection with these light beings and the stars and the constellations and the planets, if they have some type of resonance with them as well. Have you got any information about that?
To be honest, no, I don't. I never, I can't say as I never thought about it quite that way, but and it seems like there's different groups within the angels that even function at different frequencies and have different intentions or different purposes.
So each would have a unique signature to their frequency.
Right.
I wonder if that makes, if you can connect that with the sounds you heard when you had the NDEs.
I've always equated it now that, is in 2011, I learned about what's called the Solfeggio frequencies. And I equate it with those frequencies.
Okay. I don't know a whole lot about that.
They're all 3-digit numbers and they all add up to either 3, 6, or 9. And there's actually 9 sets of 9 frequencies. And I've done some mandalas for those frequencies.
How do you do mandalas for those?
The very first set that I did, which was the earthly Solfeggio frequency set, I used an old antique toy called the Hootenanny, which is the grandfather to the spirograph. And as I've to be honest, at the time I had no idea that there was actually 9 sets of 9 frequencies. It was a total of 81 mandalas. So I did the first set of 9 just kind of personally, really just for fun. And then as the more research and study I did about what the frequencies really are, and learning things like, that Nikola Tesla used these frequencies and said that if we understood 3, 6, and 9, we would understand the universe. So as I continued the work, I did use, because I'm a Photoshop geek too, I started using Photoshop to help me just keep the symmetry for the line drawings of the mandalas. And then I would print those out and then I would color them in with colored pencil by hand. And a lot of times is because I always listened to that frequency that I was creating the mandala for as I created it. And so as I listened to it, sometimes the mandala would change as I colored it. The line work would change a little bit.
I'd like to see some of those.
Actually, one of them I painted larger, and that's one of them behind me.
That's really cool. You have great work for not being an artist.
At this point, I've been making a living full-time as an artist for the last little over 7 years now.
Oh, fantastic. So really,
I had the corporate job for a number of years as I raised my kids.
Yeah, I remember those days. Remember working for the man, working for a Fortune 100 company for several years and having to go through like training every day and listening to what you did wrong the day before and how you can do better this day. And
Yeah,
man,
I was
I miss it so much.
yeah, I was a web designer and developer, so I still use those skills to take care of, parts of my own business. But yeah, I am very glad to not have to get up and, report to duty.
Well, now you do what you love to do, and it seems like when people hit their stride, at least for me, I feel like if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, then you'll know
Mhm.
because things will just start to come in place and present themselves, and you can feel it. You can physically feel it. At least I can.
Yeah.
So I want to
Mhm.
see some of your work. Like, show us some of this amazing work you've got behind you, and I'm going to show off your website in a minute.
Okay. Let's see. Yes, I do, some different abstract things. Here I can, back the gold and silver piece up there. I'm trying to adjust the camera a little bit. Yeah, some watercolor. I really love playing with the flower of life symbol, like in this one, and then it also has the Metatron's cube in the middle. I love working with the sacred geometry a lot. And here, this is painting. This is actually a drawing then of this is Archangel Gabriel here, and then I've taken that drawing and incorporated it into a piece. This is called messages to Archangel Gabriel. So this is like literally a tube where you could put a piece of paper and write a prayer or a request to that particular archangel. It's just another way that I wanted, to kind of work with some of the archangels in that piece. And that was just something fun.
Oh, that's great. Well,
But but this is how I've always seen the angels. I've never seen faces. Um, and their arms are always outstretched like that because they're ready to exchange energy or embrace whenever you need that. But what we think of as wings, those are like fingerprints. I've never seen two be exactly alike. Um, I've done enough angel portraits now over the years that I see similarities, but I've never seen anything be exactly alike.
so what are the archangels? Or the
They just are a group of angels that they just function at an even faster frequency, and they are able to, because and angels exist completely outside of what 3D time. So the angels are archangels will come when they're called upon, or when they feel the need to be in a certain place to help with something. It's just like they seem to. It is almost like they seem to oversee. Is in human was the best word I can think of in human terms. Kind of oversee other groups of angels.
And so then you've got the different levels of angels, and do they sometimes hang out around particular planetary spheres? Like, would they connect with folks?
Yeah, they do seem to. So yeah, and personal ones stick around, kind of like their person. Yeah, is like there's ones that they show me. Everybody has one that has what looks like a breastplate, like a piece of armor. And my understanding is that's like your main guardian angel, the one, and that one's been with you not just this lifetime, but all of your lifetimes in physical form.
And
And
is your holy guardian angel a representation of you as well at like a higher level consciousness, or are they separate?
yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. I personally believe so, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to hear more about these mandalas. So when you put together these mandalas, you're
Mhm.
like listening to them as you're,
As I created them, yes.
and and you're able to do it just by listening.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, some of them seem to be pretty detailed. So it's almost
Yeah,
like,
some of them are more detailed than others. Some of them are fairly simple. Yeah, and I've created, if people want to work with them, I've created coloring books so they can color them themselves. And then I've also created like a deck of cards.
okay,
Yeah, so this is like the stack of all, 81 cards.
that's a good combo. Yeah. Let me show.
Mm-hmm.
So this one right here, as an example, like this is the feng shui
Okay.
temple.
Yeah, that is, there are a couple mandalas that I've done that were not for the Solfeggio frequencies, and that was one of them.
Okay.
That one started out, there was a local magazine here in the Kansas City area where I live,
Uh-huh.
and the subject that month was feng shui. So that I created that mandala for the cover of the magazine for that particular month.
Very cool. Let's see here. And then so you've got the angel
Yeah.
gallery.
Yeah, that's more, Angel Gallery is gonna, yeah, that's more of the archangels that I've drawn, um, angels of the month and angels of the year. And just, some other angels that have come to me at different times.
This reminds me of Isis.
Um, yes, it does. From the things that my grandmother taught me and things that I have continued to study throughout my life, it is my understanding that both Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene would have studied in Egypt in the Temple of Isis.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of connections there. That's beautiful. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. And then it's got, I think it's called the Ankh.
Um, that would be the Djed,
That's right. The Jed.
Djed, I believe is how they spell it.
Yeah, the Jed, like the Jedi.
Uh-huh, yeah, something like that.
Use the Force, Luke. No, really, like the
Mhm.
Jedi. That's if you go back thousands of years, there were the Jed, and they were very high order magicians that could do things
Mhm.
similar to what you see in Star Wars. Maybe not quite that Hollywood-esque, but that's kind of where
Yeah.
the origins come from. So this is my favorite piece thus far. I can resonate with this big time. We were just talking about the divine feminine recently, and the matriarch, the what what's the there's the masculine, like the Vatican's totally male dominant, right? They've
Yes,
even tried to hide the feminine.
definitely.
But then
I'm
you've
sorry.
got the native cultures and cultures that believe the divine feminine births
Mhm.
the masculine kind of. So what is that called? Matriarchal.
Matriarchal.
Matriarchal. Thank you. I was
Mhm.
missing that one letter there. Matriarchal. Yeah.
Mhm.
Fascinating. So what's your take on that with the angels? Are some like feminine and some masculine, or some both?
It is most of the time, well, really, they're actually androgynous, but they may portray or hold an energy that is more feminine or more masculine. The personal angels, it's like I've looked at some of those, and it's like one time you look at them and they look feminine, but another time they make it look more masculine. And it seems to be that your personal ones will always keep that in balance. So if one feels more feminine one at a time, and another one of your angels is holding a more masculine energy for you. But different ones do hold a frequency or a vibration that can feel more feminine or more masculine from our interpretation of duality.
Okay. And then have you ever seen somebody that had like I don't know, evil angels or dark angels surrounding their presence?
Not that I have ever seen, no. Yeah, are there ones that seem, sometimes there's ones that seem to stand in the background like they're waiting for the person to wake up. Yeah, that though, and that is a type of energy that I'll see more around people that are experiencing a lot of fear and a lot of negativity in their life.
I would also think that maybe ignorance and ego, but the fear
Yeah.
would cause that.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So they're like, hey, snap out of it, man. We got work to
Uh-huh.
do. Quit letting the TV brainwash you, fool. Get out of there.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Jeez. Well, share with us some more. I mean, I'm looking for the right questions to ask here because this is fascinating. And when these angelic beings are extremely powerful, and it sounds like they're extremely kind. I mean, how do they typically involve themselves with people? Do they?
It's like their main purpose and the main reason they're really with us is because that's who we sat down with before we took physical form to decide what lessons we wanted to learn, what experiences we wanted to have in this lifetime. So they're the ones that kind of try to keep us on track by bringing those energies into our lives, like for example, if one of your main things is you really wanted to work on learning forgiveness in this lifetime, they're going to put in front of you situation after situation after situation where you have to forgive someone or yourself until you start to really understand it and really get it.
So when you start to look at these obstacles in your life, it's all in the observation and how you perceive it. It could be something to bring you
Hmm.
up to the level of consciousness that you asked for during this
Hmm.
journey.
Yeah.
Have you asked about reincarnation?
um I definitely believe in reincarnation, most definitely. Yeah, and from what I've been shown, that they have shown me, yeah, yeah, we do. That is an experience that some of us choose to have because we haven't learned those lessons that we wanted to experience, and because those lessons can be really in your face sometimes in this 3D experience, it's like a fast track to learn those lessons faster here than if say you went to the stayed in the I would have stayed in the angelic realm. I would have still learned those lessons, but it would have just taken me, from our perspective, a longer time period to do it.
And time doesn't exist there, does it?
Not in the way we understand it, no.
So tell us more about the angelic realms.
Yeah, from my understanding, like with time, it's almost like they're able to, move back and forth within it because it's able to, how we've to see a piece of paper, fold. It's almost like they're able to jump, from one point of that, from the, one fold to the other. Is the
Cool.
best way I can understand it or explain it.
Now, is there an increase in paranormal activity or supernatural stuff when their presence is more dominant?
Um, for some people more than others, I've noticed, a lot of people after receiving, an angel portrait, the word portal is used a lot. A lot of people talk about how, they're receiving a lot more energy from that they're, some people talk about how their angels have changed their life. Some of them will talk about how they're even able to hear them and talk with them now. Yeah, but not everybody does, but a number of people have.
So there's the Enochian calls where you can actually call to the angels. Are you familiar
Hmm.
with those?
Probably not as familiar as you are, but I am familiar with them, and I'm also, somewhat familiar with the sigils, and that we can, writing those, or, even Solomon used them in seals made of, probably of metal.
Well, and then you've got the lesser keys of Solomon, which they represent as demons. But what does that actually mean? Is that just slower vibrational beings?
That my understanding is, yeah, that's just slower vibrational, because or a different frequency, because we all chose and wanted to have this duality experience. So there are beings that are assisting to help us experience the duality. And we often refer to, think of them as, negative beings. But, I have also wondered, is like, that, if you really are a true angelic and that's what you're portraying and holding for space for people to help learn those, that duality experience or have that duality experience, that would be a really hard job to do, to hold, to assist people in doing that. So I've sometimes wondered if those aren't really, they're just showing themselves to have that slower vibration, but I've actually wondered, really, are they? Because, that's, I think, because I think if you're the, that creative force and you're sending someone to, an one of your people, for example, think of yourself as a boss for a moment. You've got a really hard job to do. Are you going to send, you're going to send your best and your brightest to do that hardest job, to meet that more difficult client.
Yeah, great point. So it's just like another part that they are in to help you reach that higher level of consciousness if that's what you are asking to
Mm-hmm.
do. Now, some
Yeah.
people get into the real, when you read about magic or mind over matter or hermetics, most people, I think, have the right intentions and are, doing it for positive things and higher vibrational
Mm-hmm.
realms. But then you've got people that will study it and use it for their own nefarious purposes. And by
Mm-hmm.
doing that, it probably brings more of the dark to you. It's probably going to have that effect where
Yeah.
you
It brings
resonate with
to
it.
you more what I would think of the karma, what we think of as karma. So it's like you build up more lessons then that you've got to learn, or even sometimes relearn.
And I wonder if you get to a point with certain people where they don't break out of it and just gets to the point of no return.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, I've wondered that about, people that, have, done what we think of in the 3D as, really evil things with people like, say Charles Manson, for example. Or, the groups that we often think of as, the Cabal, Illuminati, those group of people, yeah. But
The
yeah,
dungeon masters.
but yeah, there's also one of the things that that group has done for us at this time is because we're getting ready and able to do, like, a very large number of people, mass numbers of people are waking up right now, all at the same time. And if we hadn't had, you know, groups of people, kind of being held back and held in this, within that, framework that they've created for us for the last several hundred years, we wouldn't be able to do this mass awakening all at the same time. And just think about the energy that that is creating in those higher frequencies.
So do you see 2020 or maybe 2021 or anytime in the near future as being a major shift? Or
I think we're in that shift right now. Yeah, I do. It's going to take a while to complete it, for that veil to be completely, stepped back. And there's, some of us that, are sticking around longer because we want to help as many people wake up and, as possible. And I use the term wake up just because there isn't a better human term that we have other than that.
so what do you see angels like when you meet people? Do you automatically see them?
Um, I did for a long time. I have learned to do what I think of as turning the volume down a little bit, where I now see like clouds of color that's just constantly moving. It almost looks like a snow globe full of glitter. And then when I sit with someone, whether that's in person or the Zoom or whatever, that then one will take shape and define color for me, and that lets me know which one I'm supposed to draw. Because everybody has minimum of 3 angels with them. And the more work you have to do, the more you tend to have. Particularly if you are here to help others on their journey.
How long does it take to dial into that usually?
Just a few minutes. Yeah, because then they'll start out by, first they'll show me what color paper I'm supposed to use. Because I have I do watercolor wash ahead of time on paper. And so I have all different colors of papers, sitting here all ready to go so that I can just pull out whatever I need. So, first they'll show me that, what color paper I'm supposed to use. Then they'll show me what color the body is, because usually the body is just one color. Not always, but usually. And then the rest of the color will come up, in what we think of as wings. But, being made of light doesn't need wings.
Yeah, right. I mean, it sounds like they're just connected to light and they travel through the light itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Huh. That's pretty neat. So if somebody wants to have one of these angels drawn for them, they go to your website, susanwalterart.com, and do they hit the email?
In sessions, if you go into sessions, you'll see angel portraits is one of the choices there.
Okay.
So they can go through, make their purchase, and even schedule their session all right there on my website. So it's super easy.
Cool. Yeah. Looks like healing art with a conscious heart, art that fills the heart. You got the sessions here. You got angel portraits, soul growth readings, as well as remote energy sessions. Cool. Right on. Well, is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
Oh, I know one of the things that the angels are really trying to help us with right now is, as we're going through this process, is to, just kind of taking a second look at, what what we're doing in our lives right now is, and finding a way to really get connected with what your true passion is, and because that's what you're really here to do. And it does, I'm not saying go quit your job and, go start painting or, volunteering at the hospital or whatever, it is that you're called to do. But, maybe find a few hours every week to do something like that, because that's what's really going to start feeding your soul. And reevaluating, how we spend our time, who we're spending it with, and, all this stuff that we think we're filling our lives with. These objects really aren't making us be better people. So spending that, our dollars in ways that help us, so we feel like we've truly accomplished something or truly given something to someone in some way. With that, taking time to meditate right now is very, very important. And because it is so easy to slip into the fear at the moment, so instead of imagining the worst thing that can happen, imagine the best thing that could possibly happen.
I like that. Now, when you meditate, how do you meditate?
I don't do the same thing every day because I get bored easily. So, there is times I'll do toning. There's times I'll do guided meditations. I love crystal singing bowls. And that is one of the other things that I even do, that I have the set of 9 crystal singing bowls, and I do public meditations for people, but I've also gone to the sound studio twice and recorded a couple CDs. So, those are on the website too. But so I don't do the same thing every single day.
That's cool. Yeah, I think
I do try to take at least 15 minutes, at least twice a day, kind of morning and evening. And sometimes I'm able to do more.
So for somebody that might want to start meditating, just start out with 1 15-minute time slot a day, then move it to 2. And then if you get the opportunity, go even further.
Yeah.
So the morning and the nighttime is the best time to clear your mind and really focus.
Yeah, start your day and finish your day.
Yeah. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then so people could actually contact you, and if they wanted to see their angel, you're going to sit down with them and you're going to
Mm-hmm.
draw what you see.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Well, maybe next time, if we do another follow up on this, we could do that. We could actually record a session like that, and
Yeah. Yeah. That would be fun.
I think that'd be fun. I'd be interested to know what my angel looks like. So
Aren't
I
we
hope he
all?
doesn't have horns.
Um, the closest there's been a couple times
Horns are
I've
cool.
seen
I'm
them
joking.
have like a halo type thing because and they'll say, well, you humans think we have these halos, and then every time it always ends up being just a little bit crooked. And
Crooked
they
halos.
tend,
I love it.
yeah,
Love
and
it.
it tends to be the angels that have a sense of humor.
Yeah, like the tricksters. I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that. That's great. And you know, here's another interesting thing about the horns. I was joking about that because actually it's been demonized, and even the word demonized has been demonized. And
Mm-hmm.
the horns thing, there's actually a lot of people in the past that were looked up to, that
Mm-hmm.
they were portrayed with having horns. Even
Yeah.
Moses was
Yeah.
portrayed.
Michelangelo, the statue Michelangelo did of Moses. Moses has horns because
Yeah.
it was viewed as to show that they were connecting to the heavens and to the higher frequencies.
Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? If you think about it, because your body's an antenna, right? So
Right.
if you've got
Mm-hmm.
horns, it's like two antennas poking out of your head. But
Yeah.
what happened? The Vatican, because they love us so much, they came out and they said,
Yes.
"Oh, if something has horns, that's the devil, and the devil's bad. The devil's gonna get you." It's like,
Because they
do what
couldn't
we say, don't do
control.
what we do,
Yeah,
right?
because they couldn't control then what somebody was experiencing, and they want to control. Yeah, we have to go through them to speak to God. We can't do it directly ourselves.
Ah, right. Yeah, you got to pay to speak with God.
Uh-huh.
You got to
Yeah.
pay that money.
Yeah. Because even with the solfeggio frequencies, those frequencies are what was used in the Gregorian chants in the church up through the 1600s until the church lost the frequencies.
Oh yeah, totally. They're like, dude, where did that frequency go? I don't know, man. Let's burn everything down so we forget.
Uh-huh.
What now? The Library of Alexandria. When was that? And folks, I'm joking here. This is for entertainment purposes only. When when did the Library of Alexandria burn down? Do you remember? Do you know?
No, I don't remember the exact
Look it up.
time. I would have
I'm thinking to
it,
myself, they took that
late
information,
B it was BC, but it was late BC.
285 to 246 BC, approximately.
Yeah.
I think they got.
And personally, I don't believe a majority of that was actually burned. I believe a majority of it was actually taken by the Vatican beforehand and is probably within the Vatican libraries. It was probably mostly things like tax records and land titles, that type of stuff that was actually burned.
It would be amazing to be able to read that knowledge and to get access
Wouldn't
to
it
it and to
though?
know where it came from, and to get rid of all the fluff and get rid of all the
Mm-hmm.
disinformation, just know the root and the info. And it seems like that's happening now. And maybe that's certain people's purpose in life, is to help bring that to light. And I think,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anybody that can see angels and genuinely see angels and has had the experiences that you have had. And I mean, wow, that's amazing. You know, it's scary, and it's like you had to go through all this. You had to go through hell, and now you're kind of in I don't and
Yeah,
kind of you're in a state of heaven.
it's a
And
comfortable, peaceful place for me at this point.
yeah, that's a great way to put it. So you're helping people, and you're kind of bringing this to light, and I think that's fascinating. So I
Yeah, it's
applaud you for
my
what you
goal
do.
is to help us, feel more connected to the divine, because I think that also helps us feel more connected to each other.
Absolutely, we're all connected. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, thank you, Susan. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you, and maybe we could do a follow up in a couple of months, and we could do that the angel session to give people an idea. And I'd like to
Mhm,
let everybody know if you're interested, check out the website. I'm going
mhm,
to leave a link in the video description box. So let me go to it again: SusanWalterArt.com. That's
mhm.
SusanWalterArt.com. I'm going to do a quick screen share here again.
Yeah.
So you can see you've got different sessions. You've got the angel gallery that you can look at.
Mhm.
Looks like you offer greeting cards, monthly
Yeah.
angels, archangels,
Mhm,
portraits, the mandala gallery,
mhm.
original art, meditations, events. So cool.
Yeah, not too many events lately with what we've been going through, but I'm starting to look at, scheduling a few couple of things for 21.
Great. Well, do you have a YouTube channel?
I do have a YouTube channel. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram as well. Um, and then on Facebook, I have a special insiders group for people to, you have to request to join that. But there is where I'll always put up like a new piece of artwork comes first there. I do a giveaway of maybe a few greeting cards or different things every couple of weeks. Stuff like that always seems to go there first before I post it anyplace else.
Right on. Well, I'll make sure to put the links in the video description box so people can check
Awesome.
that, and they can subscribe to your YouTube channel as well, and keep being the change you want to see.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks everybody for being here with us. Hit the bell, be well, and be the change you want to see.